We got a bunch of bug-eyed, nobody control freaks that promote absolute tyranny running around telling us how we're racist or how we're bad all day to guilt us into becoming their slaves. I mean, if you don't realize that the Democratic Party particularly and the Republican blue blood rhino John Boehner leadership are literally using psych warfare to prey on you and your family, and that their ilk all over the world in the predatory con artist bamboozler class are not endangering our entire future as a species, you're not paying attention. These people are your sworn enemy. They want to bankrupt you to get you on their plantation, their reservation on record. They want you poor on record in a 200-square-foot coffin apartment with government operatives and spies on every floor with forced labor, forced volunteering, their oxymoron, compulsory volunteering, everything 1984. They're coming. And they got a lot of well-meaning, bleeding heart, somewhat classical liberal people going along with them. And it's up to us to expose the paradigm, overthrow the false paradigm. Now, I only got through 2 stories out of literally more than 50 or 60 on Ebola. Let me just read the headlines. Okay? HHS Secretary, there may be other cases of Ebola in the U.S. That's the Washington Examiner. This is London Guardian. Ebola crisis, global response has failed miserably, says World Bank chief. His answer, these people that run our government, this is the Federal Reserve in Europe. Their answer, same shareholders, give them $20 billion. I mean, they start a war in Ukraine, what's their answer? Give them $40 billion. Told you that before they did it. Not hard. These people run the same operations over and over again. I've interviewed the former chief economist of the World Bank. He agrees with me, Joseph Stiglitz, 5 times. Airport workers walk off job due to Ebola fear in LaGuardia in New York, and now it's happening other places. Yeah, they see all the sick people piling off of the airplanes, vomiting everywhere as Ebola empties out into America like we're a giant porta potty to be filled with bloody you-know-what. That'll be Obama's new symbol. It's just a giant cesspool vat of bloody obozo juice. I mean, I tell you, man, it is unbelievable that all this is going on. Not trying to be gross here, but I mean, this is what people do. Well, I don't want Ebola, as these West African flights are just wide open. Come on in, baby. 40% of Americans think government will save them from Ebola. I'm sure they will once it's spreading quite nicely. Continuing, Australian nurse showing symptoms of Ebola, prompting fears the disease has spread further. CBS News reports Ebola scare sends Dallas County Sheriff's deputy to the hospital. He was forced to go in to the apartment. Plane cleaners strike. Again, more on that. Ebola aversion behavior is already affecting global economies, World Bank Kim says. Again, slowing down the global economy over fears. Southcom keeps watch on Ebola. Top general, head of Southcom, says that they believe in their models that if Ebola gets into South America and Central America, it will cause a mass exodus over the border. And you know what? Obama will be there greasing the border with gallons of Vaseline. They'll have C-130s just dumping, food packs onto the border to get everybody across and paying Mexico to ship folks by train. It won't be called the death train anymore. It'll be called the Ebola train. And then we'll thank the government when Ebola spreads. Thank you, Obama, Obolo. Oh, yeah, let's play the reporter. I'm sorry. This got caught where the newsreaders get up and ask their canned questions. They have to give them to the White House first. But then after they ask their question, then the reporter had this to say on C-SPAN. Here it is.
The most interesting thing is that travel and stuff.
Yeah, we're screwed.
Which is what
I'm feeling foolish. Just so you know, so I'm going to give you a big kiss.
No, I don't want your kiss.
That's a CNN report.
If it comes back positive, I'm doing a phone result.
This what?
We're screwed. Let's not tell the public. So hilarious. So funny. Here's another one. Newly vigilant U.S. will screen flyers for Ebola. Oh, now that there's a backlash, they'll put out some fever screeners that ibuprofen can beat. How about you're coming out of a country that has it? You're not allowed to come in here, especially if you're not a citizen. How about no more visas to people from West Africa? Little simple stuff like that. No, can't do it. Hell, Rick Perry won't even call for it. I mean, you can't get Republicans to call for it. Ebola patient's death renews questions about care. Ebola patients remain still infectious. Ebola cleanup, an eerie experience. That's just some of the Ebola news. I've got a bunch of other news I want to get to ahead of our guests. We'll have open phones for our guests and in the third hour on any topic you wish to discuss. Briefly, let me tell you what I'm doing and what I was doing before this whole Ebola thing broke out to try to get my body in shape is more sun, more exercise, more organic food, really less rest because I've had a lot of family things going on like never before. You know, when it rains, it pours. I have been taking the proprietary InfoWarsLife.com products developed by top pharmacists, doctors, researchers, chemists off what the globalists are targeting, putting bad halogens in the food and water chain, taking out the good halogen, true nation iodine that we've developed that we believe nobody else has, the X2, using estrogen mimickers to block our natural hormone operations, the DNA force that has the patented, certified, confirmed things that are known to lengthen the telomeres, to restart and grow mitochondria. I mean, just amazing to clean out all the garbage in the cells. That's what I've been doing, ladies and gentlemen. And so I do this regimen twice a day with the DNA Force, 3 times a day with Survival Shield, Fluoride Shield, and Super Male Vitality. And so right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take my 2 DNA Force here on air. If you're watching on TV at prisonplanet.tv, you can see it. I'm going to take my 2 DNA Force, no other product like it. I'm going to take 1 squirt, because I do it 3 times a day, of the Super Male Vitality. We also have Super Female Vitality. I'm going to take the 1 squirt of the Super Nation Iodine X2, and then I'm going to take the Fluoride Shield that has the nascent iodine as well, but a bunch of other compounds known to chelate out the body. And then I am going to mix it up right now. And folks, again, we're going to do some before and after photos. I'm just so busy I never do it for an ad we're going to put together. I lost like 35 pounds exercising and taking other supplements, InfoWarsHealth.com products that are excellent. But then as we found the key missing links that were hiding in plain view and put them together in the last 6 months, everyone has seen me lose an additional 24 pounds and growing, and suddenly it's accelerating. And none of this is supposedly an appetite suppressant. I'm not hungry like I used to be. I have more energy. I'm bouncing off the walls. People can see it. My face, just the weight is pouring off. My belly is 1/10 of what it was. 1/10. In another month, folks, it's going to be gone. The 6-pack is starting to actually come out. It is incredible, and that's what the iodine, the proper iodine, the crystal source, deep earth iodine, and all of it has done for me. You've heard the rave reviews. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or 888-253-3139. The Oxy powder, turbocharged it about a month and a half ago, and they finally got me to take it because this is a Global Healing Center product that helped develop a lot of our products. It's been famous in Hollywood for over a decade. And this is the global product. We have it lowest price, InfoWarsLife.com as well. It's oxygen that time releases in the intestines. And I'm just believe me, it does what it says. From my experience, you use it once, you'll continue to use it. It's incredible. I mean, I lost like 5 pounds the first week I did it, just of weight. I'm not going to go into it. Oxy powder, all of it, InfoWarsLife.com, the DNA Force, the X2. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take my DNA Force right now. regrows nerves. We can actually say that because the patented stuff we have in here that costs $12,000 a kilo. Just go see all the stuff written up by the doctors that's all been authorized by the lawyers to be able to say, because it's such a proprietary special product at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Unbelievable. And I tell my crew, because I've never been a vitamin guy my whole life, I say, make me take it. Do not let me forget. Make me take it. Remind me to take it. I tell my children, remind me to take it at night. It's 10 o'clock at night. They've gone to sleep. There's no ice cream in the refrigerator, folks. I go down and I have one of these. Simply incredible. InfoWarsLife.com. Now, before I go any further, also don't forget, buying these high-quality products funds this whole operation. Please support our local AM and FM affiliates as well. Support our local sponsors. Become a local sponsor. Tell those stations, thank you for carrying the show. And tell your whole office, your friends and family. If you got the money, pay to pull up a billboard for the local station. Work with the station to do it. We're not going to save the country if we don't promote outlets that promote freedom. I get other talk show hosts on. I get bigger hosts than me on, smaller hosts than me on. I get authors, researchers, lecturers, others on to build the platform, to create synergy. We're in a war, folks. We don't take your money at gunpoint like the IRS and give it to Rachel Maddow in stimulus money and give it to NPR. We just sell high-quality water filters, made in America, pro-gun T-shirts, camouflage ball caps. Got a whole winter line of clothing coming out that's awesome that I'm going to be wearing because I picked it out. I just love it. Super patriot redneck. Point is, we're fighting hard. I'm going to skip this network break here, speaking of that, because I want to air this special report. We got 3 of these today that Joe Biggs, Leanne McAdoo, and John Bound have filed. This one's by John Bound, and it's titled, ladies and gentlemen, ISIS is Here. And it was on the nightly news last night. We're going to play it and premiere it here for the radio audience today. Then I'm going to have that video posted to the front page of Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. So many times, we've got everybody else's videos posted on Infowars because there's a lot of great videos out there, but not our hard-hitting reports. We need to, I guess, have an RSS feed or something with all our videos in it, and then tweet it out to people. Get it out to folks. You're the real power of this transmission. Remember 5 years ago when somebody in L.A. put out the Obama Joker image, and they called for their arrest in the L.A. newspapers and TV, saying, you know, he's our God, you don't do that, it's racist. And I said, that's un-American, that's mind control, we're going to do it. And so we called for a $5,000 contest of whoever could put up, you know, the most in their town, videotape it and put a YouTube out in legal and lawful areas. And from Florida to Wisconsin, from New York to Texas, they called for the arrest on TV that someone had put down the God Obama. So folks responded by putting even more out, and they backed off and said, okay, it's free speech. We're not going to arrest who did it. See, you got to call the political correct authoritarians that are trying to shut you up with their bullying. You know how to meet a bully. And we're going to do another contest, I think, exposing the fact that the government's behind Ebola, open the borders up. I think we're going to do an Obolo or Obama connected to Ebola contest. This will be a quick turnaround, $10,000 deal. I'm gonna write it up today, launch it tomorrow, and you'll have like 10, 15 days to turn it around and then put your YouTube video up, and then we'll give it a week to judge it. But I think we need to really hit them hard. Send us your ideas as show tips at Infowars.com. What are your ideas of a contest to really show the power of the people? A V for Vendetta, putting the V's up. You know, something similar to that. We've had a lot of really powerful contests that have shown the power of you. You have the power. You are the resistance. You are the ones taking action. You are the ones that when you exercise your power can't be stopped. This is what it's all about. What are your ideas? What should we do? Does it mean this one contest will bring them down? No. But the act of resistance, spreading and realizing we have the power will. Here's John Bound's report. ISIS is here because we've got the White House coming out today saying there's no Al-Qaeda, there's no ISIS, but we got to take all your rights because Al-Qaeda is such an imminent threat. Meanwhile, Turkey's been caught openly aiding Al-Qaeda, known as IS or ISIS or Khorasan or whatever the name is to confuse us, attacking the Kurds. And the Kurds are responding by now starting to burn stuff down inside Turkey, the ethnic Kurds. So let's go ahead and go to this report, ladies and gentlemen, that John Bound filed on ISIS is here in America. Homeland Security saying that they believe there is an imminent threat being planned and that an attack will take place. They said that last Friday and again on Sunday in and around El Paso, Fort Bliss, Joint Task Force 6 area. I want to be clear. I'm the guy that exposes false flag. I'm the guy that officially began questioning 9/11 on the day of the event. I see comments on InfoWars saying, you know, Alex, why are you saying there could be a real ISIS threat? Why are, you know, it's going to be a hoax, going to be a false flag? It is a false flag because ISIS has been empowered and funded by NATO and Homeland Security, and they'll use an attack to take our liberties. It does not mean there aren't jihadi nutballs that are coming to attack us. See, the media always spins it that a false flag means it's totally staged by the government. No. Elements of the government can fund terrorists and then let them attack.
Has Rand Paul ever been to Syria? Has he ever met with ISIS? Has he ever met with any of these people? No. We're going to have a fight because it's patently false. This is the same Rand Paul that said we didn't want to have anything to do with anything to do in the Middle East, by the way. I don't want to get in a fight with him at all. Yeah. But it's not true. I know these people. I'm in contact with them all the time.
All right, then let me ask you this.
And he is not.
Senator,
and he is not.
I mean, let's remember here, the people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago. And we did it because we were locked in this struggle with the Soviet Union. They invaded Afghanistan, and we did not want to see them control Central Asia. And we went to work. And it was President Reagan in partnership with the Congress, led by Democrats, who said, you know what, sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's deal with the ISI and the Pakistani military, and let's go recruit these mujahideen. And let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union.
That's what most false flags are, is opening the door, letting it happen. Look at how the British government was in the news 2 days ago. Is going to, quote, retrain the jihadis coming back from Syria because huge amounts of them, tens of thousands, have come out of England. They're allowed to fly in and out. They're allowed to have Twitter and Facebook accounts. They are being protected. They're being protected here. It's in the news today in my stack that radical Islamist terrorists are using the open borders and the open visa program.
Prior to last night, it was running about 73% of the people apprehended in the Rio Grande Valley are OTMs other than Mexican. A lot of Central Americans, but really from all over the world. And we were informed last night that number has escalated to 80%. So, and this is a fact. So most of the people that we encounter here, a larger percentage of them are people from other countries other than Mexico.
And we're not told about the special interest aliens. We have had Somalians here once they got on that special alien list. They won't tell us that anymore, but there have been Somalians, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Chinese, you name it, we've had it here. We've
also found evidence that people from these special interest countries, in particular Pakistan and Afghanistan, Iran, are coming through our property. During one of our Texas Border Volunteer operations last year, we had a group of 10. We spotted, we followed them, informed the Border Patrol where they were going to come out on the highway. Border Patrol were not able to respond fast enough. They climbed the fence and loaded up and left, and were not caught. But as one of them was climbing over the fence, he dropped a package. And that package was an Urdu dictionary. Urdu is a language spoken in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And in that translation book, Urdu and English, there were a lot of phrases circled and outlined. Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English? So it's easier for them to slip through this private property. And that's just one example. And more recently, within the past 2 weeks, some Iranian money was found in a bailout vehicle. So we know they're coming in here.
Besides that Iranian money being found in a bailout vehicle up here, 4 Syrians, which is not, you know, public news yet, but 4 Syrians were apprehended on the Rio Grande River a couple days ago.
So Al-Qaeda put out an online magazine that states that they want to hit the Air Force Academy. They want to hit a military academy in Georgia. They want to hit Las Vegas. And once again, New York is another target as well, Times Squares. So these are very trying times.
And they now have 12 passenger jets in working order and have been photographed celebrating with them, basically saying they're going to kill us with them.
إن الخلافة الإسلامية قامت وبإذن الله لن تتوقف يا جبناء إن كنتم رجال فنحن على الأرض فلا تأتون بالطائرات من دون طيار فأتوا بجنودكم الذين مرغنا أنوفهم في العراق وبإذن الله سوف نمرق أنوفهم بكل مكان وإن شاء الله بالبيت الأبيض سوف نرفع على راية لا إله إلا الله.
We found backpacks with Korans. Another fellow found a backpack with a prayer rug in it. You find hypodermic needles. You find pregnancy tests. You find everything in the world in this trash. Another friend had 10 Chinese in his yard. There's Arabs coming. The Border Patrol said at one point 3 out of 10 that they apprehended was OTMs other than Mexicans. There's all kinds of people. This is a national security issue.
Everything that you're getting on the media is a lie. We live this every day, 24 hours. And it is not secure. When we got the wall built on our ranch, it is known as a force multiplier. And immediately they deployed agents that used to patrol the border before the 10, 12, 14-foot wall. You have 18-foot wall on this side. They took agents off the border because it's a force multiplier.
ISIS cells that were active in the Juarez area, which is northern part of Chihuahua State, and that they were moving around over there, that they had just that there was some activity, and for the sheriffs along the border to be on the alert, for all law enforcement to be on the alert, and to be on the lookout for these people maybe trying to come across. If they show their ugly head in our area, we'll send them to hell. And I think the United States need to get busy. And they need to bomb them. They need to take them out. I would like for them to hit them so hard and so often that every time they hear a propeller on a plane or a jet aircraft engine that they urinate down both legs.
Now, the reason they picked Juarez could be a strategic move. This is just right across the border. Juarez is no more than a few miles to my left. Now we also have, many other buildings in this area that we've talked about. We have the military base. FBI has an office.
Do you have any information or any evidence that they're actually coming in the southern border now?
Yes. I have information that I know that at least 10 ISIS fighters have been caught coming across the Mexican border in Texas. There's nobody talking about it. Because I've asked the Border Patrol, Greta.
And the Border Patrol, they just let ISIS members come across the border?
No, they caught them at the border. Therefore, we know that ISIS is coming across the border.
2 Central Texas men arrested on terror-related charges will both have a detention hearing tomorrow afternoon in federal court.
Rahatul Khan and Michael Wolf, both 23, were arrested separately this week. They're both accused of providing support to terrorists.
Is there synergy? Is there interaction? Is there a connection between the Mexican cartels and groups like ISIS?
My opinion is, yes, there seems to be at least talking to each other. How much, I don't know. But drug cartels use the same operational plan as terrorist groups do.
People from terrorist countries, countries that are deemed special interest countries, pouring in here undetected. It's time to step up and shut the border down. We can shut the border down in Afghanistan or Iraq. That's a big priority. Our biggest priority needs to be shut down this southwestern border.
Any way you slice it, they're leaving the borders wide open. They are funding ISIS worldwide. They are letting them come into the United States so that when they attack, Obama can pose as a savior and take more liberties when they've opened us up. Remember, Homeland Security is now pointed at gun owners, returning veterans, libertarians, conservatives. It's very simple what's happening. Just like they're letting the Ebola come in, just like they're bringing the Ebola into the country. This is their plan. And we have to ask ourselves, why are they doing it? The only way we can help stop this from happening is by pointing out that when it does happen, the central government and the Democratic Party specifically are to blame, and they might actually do something about it. But remember, you're losing your freedoms because of al-Qaeda threats or ISIS threats while our government openly funds it. That's not our government. It's an illegitimate criminal group. That's why nothing makes sense. When you realize they want to bring the country down, then it all makes total sense. Stay with us. Second hour, Doug Casey coming up. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. The author of Totally Incorrect, Doug Casey's coming up in the next segment. We're going to open the phones up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about libertarianism, anarchic capitalism, one of the icons of the movement. He was on a few weeks ago, but he's about to leave the U.S. again, so I wanted to get him back on today. Enjoyed speaking at his conference 3 weeks ago. And I want to bring up Kim Jong-un's absence to him. What an illustration of just pathetic government on parade, and what big government always basically ends up as is a bunch of crazy people in a big building sitting around like peacocks, regaling themselves with titles of nobility. And then that's what North Korea is a royal system. Even mainline analysts now say that. I've been saying it for 15 years. And it's just a total cult of scumbaggery. Kim Jong-un's not in charge because he got voted in. He's not in charge because he created beautiful music or was beautiful or was smart or was cool. No, he was there because his dad was a communist puppet of the Chinese communist and put his son in charge, and he put his son in charge. And notice how the dynasties degenerate quicker and quicker now. One should not try to eat lunch during a 1-minute break, as the last hour ended. There's so many things that I call Rosetta Stones that are issues that through them you can just see how the whole world works. Big government centralization creates Kim Jong-un, Nazi Germany, Maoist China. I mean, look how pathetic he is if you're a TV viewer. Imagine the patheticness of a giant, rotting country. That building he's standing in front of, they've been building for 20-plus years. They can never open it. They can't even get their cars to run properly. They can't manufacture anything. They have giant slave camps everywhere. And this is the model the globalists would like us to live under. They can't even keep their uniforms in good shape to then stand around and write things while he gives orders. The cult of a giant, fat little sack of maggots with a bunch of gibbering cult slaves standing around him. And then I look at Democrats and so-called liberals, and they literally are a Kim Jong-un cult of political correctness and trendiness. They have nothing. They have no future. They have all these college degrees that are worthless outside the system that's collapsing. But they don't care. They have victory. They have their adoration of BB, of Big Brother. They have their adoration of Kim Jong-un. What a parallel Obama to Kim Jong-un. You got a business, you didn't build that. Let's go back. Let's look at Kim Jong-un with all the girls. And when his dad died, 3 days of... Can we cue up the fake crying? North Koreans cry, Kim Jong-un. And look at the young 16-year-old girl in the uniform, all just trying to compete who can grab on him. That's what Hollywood is. Yeah, click on the Pimpin' Ain't Easy one. That's what Hollywood is, what Edward Bernays talked about in advertising in the 20s, how they would put it out there and then show the person. They would have fake, only the first ones had to be fake in the 20s and 30s. They would have all these people from the back lot of the production studio show up, dressed up, fawning and yelling at the male stars and female stars. And then they would put it on the newsreels and advertise that next week another showing was happening, and people would show up and copy it, and then the pump was primed. So in North Korea, he shows up with his stupid haircut and his little outfit, and all these starving girls run up, and they go, oh, I got to touch him. That's what fads are. That's what trendiness is. That's how incredibly empty you trendies are. Now, if something's trendy or been trendy and you like it, then go with it. Sometimes trends come from the people and they're okay.
Introducing the first proprietary oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, OxyPowder. Backed by real FDA-approved phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials. People are suffering from all kinds of digestive issues these days. All the toxins from the air, the food, the water, ultimately ends up in the gut or affects the gut. My main focus was to come up with a remedy for this, something that's safe and effective that anyone can take on a regular basis to keep their intestinal lining clean. My recommendation is to clean your intestines at least 2 to 3 times a week to prevent the toxic buildup from going into your bloodstream. Take your health into your own hands and start cleansing your body today with OxyPowder. Secure your OxyPowder today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.